Hi, I'm Dana and welcome to another episode of the Burnout Diaries. For anybody that's new, I will put a link to the first one up here. Actually, that's a professional YouTube thing to do. And brief little rundown, I'm in burnout. It sucks. I've been here before, but I just got through it, and I don't really remember what any of it was like or how I dealt with anything or how I accommodated to anything. And it means that I felt like I'm going into this with no skills, even though I've been through it before. So we're keeping track of it, and I'm documenting it to a point. I think I will find it very helpful in future, and fingers crossed some people find it currently helpful in some way or another. So today I want to talk about anxiety, because I'm so fucking anxious that I literally can't make a video about anything else. I can't focus on anything but how fucking anxious I feel. And I'm someone who always has like a base level of fairly high anxiety. There has not been a moment in my fucking life that I remember where I haven't been anxious and worried about one thing or another, you know? Like, it is constant, it is never ending, and it's hard, it's a fucking struggle. And the further into burnout I'm getting, just the more anxious I am, because number one, I have more things to be anxious about. Like, I'm experiencing skill regression, I'm not being able to do things that I can usually do, and I need to be able to do those things for like basic human survival. So that's already anxiety inducing. I have a bunch of things in my life that are about to change that you're gonna see a video about, probably the next video, honestly. Like, I'm about to have a load of upcoming changes and things happening that I'm already super fucking anxious about, and some of them it's like right on the horizon, so fair enough, but some stuff is like months and months away, and I don't realistically need to be fucking anxious about anything to the level that I am, but I especially don't need to be anxious about things that I can't even prepare for at least a few months, you know, right now. But I can't organise any of it in my brain to be like, we can be anxious about this now and we'll be anxious about that later. And that's what I'm usually able to do. Like, when I'm not in burnout, I do sort of like mentally organise all my anxieties for like, we'll deal with that now, we'll get anxious about that later, that's for next week. Like, I can just like push off other anxieties until I've dealt with the current ones to be able to move through to the next ones. And it's not ideal, it's not nice, I don't enjoy living like that, but it's better than living with all of the anxieties immediately piled on top of me to the point where like I'm sitting around just constantly fucking sweating. It's disgusting, you're welcome, but I can literally feel sweat dripping from my armpit just at any given moment of the day. I'm not too hot, I'm not too warm, I can be too fucking cold at sometimes, and especially it's my armpits and the top of my lip, sweaty constantly, because I'm just so fucking anxious. And even when I'm trying to focus on other things, and I can usually focus on other things, like I do a lot of like creative artsy things because I can focus on that and everything else drops away. And similarly, I watch a lot of my special interest shows and I watch a lot of media because I can just focus on my thing and all the rest of it goes away, and it's lovely, you know? Like that's how I exist and cope with like a lot of stuff in my life, is I just focus on the nice happy thing and everything else falls away for a bit, and then I'm like recovered and prepared enough to deal with the thing. But at the minute, I still do my little creative thing where I watch my little shows, and like I still like them, I still do it, it's not a bad thing, you know? Like, I think it's very healthy to continue with hobbies even when you're burnt out and things like that, but I can't focus on them in the way that I usually can. The anxiety is constantly just niggling at the back of my mind. So like my big project at the minute is Puppet Tusk. I'll link the video I've made about that if you want to go watch it, but like I haven't done that in the last like 3 or 4 days at all. Like, I've been doing bits here and there for the most part, it's been like an ongoing like constant thing, and I quite like it like that as well. But at the minute, like, I have not done anything like for like, I said 3 or 4, but it might be more like 4 or 5. Like, I just haven't been able to touch it because I need to be able to like focus on it and have my brain do like the multi-part thing of like, I need to look at what I'm doing right now, I need to look at how it looks right now, I need to think about how it should be looking and look at the mental image I have of how it's supposed to look, and then figure out what I need to take from that and add to the real version. Like, there's multiple things happening in my brain to make that happen, and there's a whole space of that I need that is just taken up by like all of these little things I'm anxious about and all these big things that I'm anxious about, and I can't put it away, you know? Like, it is just there and it won't go. And as someone who lives with like a base level of fairly high anxiety, I have like my coping mechanisms. I journal, I do my little stretchy things, I have stim routines that I do, I have my fidget toys, I have like essentially art therapy near enough, you know? Like, I have my little projects where I'm like, I really care and love this thing, I get to just be creative. And even just like the stuff that I use as coping mechanisms to deal with my anxiety are not dealing with my anxiety right now, and it really, I don't know what to do, and it's affecting everything. Like, I'm sleeping for like, some nights I'm sleeping like 10 hours a night, and I do feel good when I get up. I'll give, like, it's been a long time since I've actually felt good when I wake up, and a few nights I've had these long sleeps and I've felt really good the next morning. Most nights I'm getting like maybe 6 or 7 hours, which isn't the worst I'll give. I know a lot of people get a lot less, but I'm also waking up like consistently throughout the night. Like, it's not a solid bit of sleep. And similarly, another part of my anxiety is that, like, I feel it's a very low level of nausea a lot of the time when it's this type of anxiety. Like, if I have something coming up in 2 hours, chances are I'm going to straight up throw up. Like, I'm going to be sick. That's the type of nausea. When it's these more like abstract sort of anxieties, there's a very low level of nausea that I'm able to just not notice for the most part, because I have terrible introspection as well. So it exists there, and I know I'm not comfortable, but I can't really put my finger on it. And then the moment I sit down to eat, I smell the food, my meal is in front of me, I feel so sick. Like, even just thinking about food right now, I just feel sick. There is not none of my safe foods are safe. Like, I bought my little steak bakes, I bought the fucking chicken pieces. Like, I bought in my safe foods specifically so that I would be able to eat. And even my safe foods, I look at them and I smell them, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I don't fucking want it. It's not safe, it's not right, I can't do it. I showered last night for the first time in probably close to 3 weeks, which I know is really grotty and gross and disgusting, but we're being honest and authentic and shit here. And I don't know if it's like actually my anxiety or if it's some sort of OCD or something else. Like, I do sort of feel like it lays somewhat outside of my anxieties, because with showers, I already have like the sensory issues. I don't like being too hot, I don't like being too cold, I don't like the transition between the temperatures, I don't like having to be wet and then having to dry off, and the feeling of being... There's a whole bunch of shit to showers that I already don't like. When I have this type of anxiety, which is like just so much different and so much bigger and so much at the forefront than the like base layer of anxiety I usually have, when I have this type of anxiety, I'm panicked while I'm in the shower. I feel like someone is calling my name, I feel like I can hear someone coming in. Like, I'm so fucking paranoid, it is unbelievable. I can't enjoy a single second of a shower because I'm constantly peeping out the curtain expecting someone to be there to do something. And I know it's ridiculous, I know it's illogical, I know it doesn't make sense. That doesn't help me. I hear people, like, it's one of those things where I don't want to be like, I have like audio hallucinations, because that's not what's happening. It's as soon as there's some sort of like foreground noise that is happening, like I can't really hear over the shower. I play some music as well, and my brain convinces itself that I can hear someone saying my name, and I'm not actually hearing them, but I've convinced myself that I have, you know? And it'll be like, that's the thing as well, is I'll be like, was that my dad's voice? Was that my mum's voice? And I can't tell you whose voice it actually was, because I didn't actually hear anything. I don't have anything to remember from what I heard. It's not actually there. I'm not actually hearing anything. But my brain is convincing itself, because I'm so panicked, there must be something, there must be someone. And it feels like that with a lot of like elements of my life when I'm like this type of anxious, you know? The only upside to the area that I've moved to is that my family don't live here, and they would flat out refuse, so there was no chance my family would move around here. So I used to have a lot of the times when I thought that I'd seen my brother, or I thought I'd seen my mum when I was out and about, and that would cause me a whole like burst of anxiety. And I'm not having that anymore, but because of the area I moved to, I consistently think that I see my abusive ex while I'm out and about, and a couple of times it's been because I have. So it's one of those where, like, just being in my house, I'm already incredibly fucking anxious. I don't feel good, I don't feel happy, I'm constantly on edge, I'm constantly waiting for something. I can't do anything because I'm waiting for something to fucking happen, because my anxiety is telling me that it's going to. And that's usually the kind of time when I'm like, I need to get out of the house, I need to go for a walk, I need to clear my brain, kind of thing, you know? Like, just get out, have some fresh air, go for a walk, see what that does. At the very worst, we've got half hour of the day out the way, you know? And even doing that, I'm at the point where, like, I will straight up turn around and walk in an opposite direction, because I vaguely think that the person down the street or down the path in the park or wherever else, the way they're walking, their general silhouette, it could be my horrible abusive ex. And the way that I am struck with an absolute panic, and it is complete fight or flight, and I feel like I don't have any control of myself. I literally just turn around and walk in a different direction, and I don't feel like I've made that choice. Like, it just, I see someone, my brain connects, that could be your horrible ex, and I'm gone. It's done. And I'm having a lot of moments that are similar to that, where I just don't feel like I'm fully in control of myself, and it does feel like my anxiety is just kicking such a fight or flight instinct into my brain that I don't have control over myself. My body is just reacting in the way that it feels like it needs to like keep me safe. And the reality is that I'm plenty safe, like I am safe enough. But I don't feel it at all. I feel so, like, I feel like when we say unstable, we mean like mentally unstable in the way of like I'm not safe around myself. I don't mean it like that. I mean unstable in the way of like it just feels like my foundations are so fucking shaky. And in a lot of ways it's because they are, because of my childhood and the way I was raised and all that stuff, that I haven't been able to like fucking heal and approach and deal with properly, because it's just one thing after a fucking another, you know? And I think that's another big thing for me, is that like, because I've had various therapists and counsellors and things like that, and a lot of them, when it's come to the point where I've actually explained my anxieties and been like, oh yeah, I'm dealing with this right now, and this happened, and this went on, and there was this, and there was that, and there was this, they're like, oh yeah, that does all make sense. You know? Like, one of the big things that one of my therapists tried to help me work through was when I was going to see my mum every single day, because I was convinced that something horrible was going to happen to her if I didn't go and see her. So my therapist was like, okay, we're going to choose a day, and you're not going to go and see her, and you're going to see that everything will be fine. You'll go back up the next day and it'll be exactly like it normally was, and the next day you can not go again, and we can split it to every other day. And the first day I didn't go and see my mum, I got a phone call from my brother at like 10:30 p.m. because she wasn't home, and it was very out of the ordinary for her, and we had to phone around hospitals and find out she was in hospital. And then like 3 days later she was diagnosed with 3 types of cancer. And I'm like, this is the kind of shit that happens though. Like, that's the thing, is if I'm not doing these like preventative measures, which I'm fairly sure it's an OCD thing that's like tied in with a lot of my anxiety, but no doctor will listen to me about it. If I don't do these things and act in certain ways and maintain my routine and do everything, that's the thing as well, is that like so much of it is just a feeling, you know? Like, I feel like if I do something right, the anxiety will go away and I'll be okay. But then I do the thing and it is right, and the anxiety is still there. And combined with that, several of my experiences have told me that I'm right, you know? Like, my pattern recognition is like, yeah, if you'd gone to see your mum, just like, if there is something that you can be anxious about right now, I am. You know, I am anxious about my living situation, I am anxious about my financial situation, I am anxious about my social positions, I'm anxious about just being seen, being perceived, being heard, existing in real life whatsoever. Just horrifies and terrifies me. And it is kind of weird to me that the online world, like posting stuff like this online, doesn't bother me at all. Like, being perceived online, being perceived as a person online, being heard online, I don't care, because it's not real. It's a load of pixels and noughts and ones and code. Like, it's not the same, you know? It's not real. But even then, I've just made an entire video basically telling what I should be telling a therapist, because I need a video for today, because I'm so anxious about breaking my fucking like upload routine that I've had. Like, I'm sorry, I will post any old shit currently just to make sure that I'm keeping with the upload schedule, and I'm really trying to make content that I at least like, you know, even if it's not helpful, even if it's just my little like fucking Simpsons Keely Hawes sign. I like that video, I'm happy with it, you know, but I also, is that the type of content I usually post? But also, I don't want to just be an autism channel, you know? There's a lot more to me as a person than just being autistic, but also all of my bits of personality do tie back to being autistic. And we're going completely off topic now, so that is a good time to end the video. As always, I hope this is helpful to someone in some way. If you have any like coping mechanisms, things that you do, I would love to hear about them in the comments. I am already doing a lot of stuff to try and look after myself and try to deal with it, and as much as I've ranted and raved and complained and gotten kind of annoyed in some ways in this video, I am coping with it, I am getting through it. It just sucks and it's really hard and I'm not enjoying it. So yeah, if you want to see more of me, you can like and subscribe. This is obviously an entire series at this point. I make a variety of content. You can have a look. If you like it, you can join in and like and subscribe and be part of the community. You can also find me over on TikTok, Blue Sky or Instagram. And if you really wanted to, you can go and find me over on Patreon or Ko-fi. It's all up to you. You can do whatever you want to do, you can do it. And I want to go, so I'm going to do that. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.